ban. NIP's turn to ban. Dire team ban. NIP's turn to pick. Dire team pick. 10 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Tiny.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Hello everybody and welcome back here to ESL 1 Germany. We are halfway through our second series of day number 8 here in the studio, and we're getting ready for game number 2 drafts between NIP and the Yellow Submarine. From what we can see so far, it's looking to heat up a little bit here in this series. Full 3 maps is on the card, boys. Yes? No?
Maybe so. Yeah, sure, why not?
But NIP's gameplay was too good.
It was, but they also had a very strong game 1 against Alliance and then fell off a cliff after that.
Remaining.
It's possible.
So we think that NIP are one map
remaining.
No, not necessarily. But
I heard you say that.
No, I'm saying that's what happened in the past. It could happen again. I mean, Yellow Submarine, there was just a couple of tiny mistakes that they had, from itemization to not necessarily teamfight selection, but teamfight execution that was their downfall that time around. But I feel like NMP is the type of team that they just say, look, we beat you with this. It's up to you to try and beat us with it. And, you know, if you can, great. Then we've still got game 3 in the bag.
Yeah, but seriously, I think if Morphling didn't go that minus and he had Yasha and doing this team fight, everyone was like the slight bit. Even with all these Greaves, HP regen, Tether regen, were like really 20% HP.
Yeah, like I can understand Midas on something like a Lifestealer or a Faceless Void, where right-clicking more does more, like if that makes sense. You know, you get more time lock procs, you get more health stolen from the feast. But on Morphling, what does it do? You know, you're right-clicking a lot more for no damage. So it just doesn't really work out for me.
I hope Yellow Submarine comes out with fighting carry.
Yeah.
I think the first game and second game, he was very active. It's just that this series.
So you want him to play a little bit faster on Yatari. You want to see him have something that has a little bit more early game impact, you know, that 10-15 minute mark?
Yeah, the deciding match between Chalice versus Yatora.
That sounds like an anime.
Yeah.
That's an anime fight waiting to happen.
Well, NIP, they're just like, look, beat us with it again. We did it once before and we'll do it one more time. Not getting the Mars this time, though. They're going for the Beastmaster on Yellow Submarine. Something a little different. Collapse didn't play that badly at all, though, but maybe just wanting something that's able to shut down something like an Ursa a little bit more strongly.
Yep.
So we think that Collapse going into this game, he wants to have the Beastmaster. Is that more for like the lockdown so it doesn't get beaten out by like the relocate trade way? You want to try and get in on top of that, or have a little bit more of the vision game as well with the Hawk and stuff like that?
That's part of it, but also, you know, now you've got a BKB piercing stun, which is always good. And if you go something like an Ursa, you can just go the Boars, right? Because they've already picked up their supports. They're not going to have something like a Chan or an Enchantress that's able to turn that back around at them. So I think the Call of the Wild is going to be really effective this game.
Besides laning, I'm not really convinced with this Beastmaster versus IO. Just because of all these saves, like Roar does very limited damage. It's a good lockdown. But even if you lock down, if the core heroes are like way too tanky, what are you gonna do? Like, he's just gonna survive from this, like all these spells. And if they actually consider going the CK and like, it doesn't have to be Ulsa. It can be like many different heroes that can do well against Beastmaster.
I feel like they might be trying to go for some kind of death ball strategy right now on Yellow Submarine, because we can see them getting rid of the Sven, rid of the anti-mage, and, you know, Gyrocopter, he can be run over. Man, they're just putting out all the carries right now on Yellow Sub, but they just don't want to give them away to get back into the game, if that makes sense. They want to take away as much of them as possible and then just plant their flag down and say, look, we're not leaving your side of the map.
But are these bans reasonable for you? Anti-mage ban? With IO?
NIP's
IO
turn to pick.
anti-mage?
Yeah, it's not the greatest, and yeah, look, Disruptor. They want to be playing from the front, right? They can even use the Hawk so that if you're trying to get the retreat and you think, okay, I'm up on my high ground, I'm safe now. No, you're not. You're right back here with us. So I think, yeah, it's just about getting the winning laning phase set up.
10 seconds
What have we
remaining.
got left? The mid and the safe lane. Surprised me to see
seconds
something like
remaining.
Alina just come out for Yellow Submarine, right?
Yep. It's the same feeling from like last game. And last game, if Morphling was able to join the fight, it will be completely different.
Dire team
And if
pick.
they try to aim that and get all this map advantage,
There's your CK.
You're so
I like
smart,
it.
QO.
Yeah.
So smart, so handsome, sitting down the end of the panel.
they don't want to lose this advantage either. Like Chalice, god of the aggressive melee carry.
True,
Yeah.
true.
Does this play the same way that you would
pick.
like to play like the Ursa and the last healer, right?
Yeah, I think he's playing perfectly with all these heroes. But when he was playing Luna, that was yeah.
Yeah, that was not.
You just can't get quite as aggressive as a Luna, right?
Yeah.
Like you just want to be sitting back and right-clicking as opposed to getting right in
10
on top of their
seconds
faces. So
remaining.
I'm liking the CK pick, but I like Spectre as well. You know, it gives them some
5
late-game
seconds
potential.
remaining.
They like to pick these heroes that have a lot of durability, whether it be the HP pool or just something that reduces the damage, like the Spectre, in conjunction with the Sunray. And Beastmaster and Spectre are going to want to be there in the thick of things. So Phoenix isn't going to have too much trouble about getting that Sunray interrupted.
I want to say LC though.
For NIP?
For NIP here, yeah. Because Spectre could be good if he goes okay with this laning, but if he doesn't solve out this issue, Disruptor is generally weak. And Tiny is considered as weak too. But Spectre's weak, but if he picks strong heroes in NIP, something that can lane 1v1 and deny his CS, I think IOCK will snowball. Spectre won't be able to snowball as much as what CK is snowball.
NIP's turn to bat.
They want
Viper, yep. Break is nice.
Could it be offlane? I think it can be offlane too, actually.
very possible.
Tiny Viper against Disruptor Spectre. Wait, it could be, it's Phoenix Spectre actually. Yeah, Disruptor 4.
No, I think it's more likely to be the...
10 seconds
Whoa.
remaining.
I don't know. Into this lane, you got to be pretty careful,
Dire
right?
team
No, I think
back.
it's Disruptor 5. Yeah. A little... I understand what you're saying with the offlane Viper, and yes, it's really good against the Spectre. You could just get rid of their win condition, basically. But it just feels like the type of hero that Supreme plays, as opposed to Saberlight, right? Like this
NIP's
anti-hero,
turn to
if that makes
ban.
sense.
Yeah, I think Supreme was always been playing coordinating heroes. I know we are not seeing him like shine like in a game, but because he's doing his job, like I think NIP is working out like with the gameplays.
It really does feel
10
like it's kind of the
seconds
Charlie
remaining.
show when you see these NIP games, right?
Mm.
Right now, they really are setting him
5
up for
seconds
success with this Viper
remaining.
pick. So you guys still
Dire
think that it's going to be
team back.
Saberlight's hero for the final pick here, and it seems like Yellow Submarine are on the same page as well, getting rid of that Timber
NIP's turn to
final
pick.
one and getting rid of the Tide Hunter as well for the Yellow Submarine. So them being underwater, they don't want to deal with a big Leviathan. Matic.
Yeah.
I really think it will be really good if they actually picked up the Titan or Timber in the 4th pick against the Spectre plus either Disruptor or Phoenix. Like,
10
what can they
seconds
do?
remaining.
Because we've seen that in the Southeast Asian region, right? It was towards the end of ESL 1
5
Thailand where
seconds
people were just picking
remaining.
Tide Hunter into the Spectre. And they were just demolishing that lane as well. And they came in with Ravage and all these insane teamfight items. So, surprise teams haven't been picking it up more recently.
And you can also put it against Beastmaster 1v1 as well. Like,
Yeah.
what can Beastmaster do?
I am liking the bans as well coming out from NIP. We were talking about the Lina as the potential 4th pick there. Obviously, that's not going to be the case. And Zeus, of course, really good at dealing with the Chaos Knight illusions, and it enabled that global strat coming out with the Spectre. So that's removed out of the options.
Dire
Only
team
4 seconds left for NIP to take their last pick, and it's an Elder Titan.
Okay.
Something a little different. We like to see it.
Sounds like a hot Saberlight hero, right? They've got the Spirit, they've got the main Natural Order as well. Get rid of that armor. Biggest thing, getting rid of the Magic Resist. So obviously, the Nether Toxin does that on top of the Spirit. So it's going to
10
be a lot of
seconds
negative
remaining.
Magic Resist coming in here. And that Spectre's going to melt if she gets locked down, man. You know, Avatar,
5 seconds
it's a
remaining.
Chaos Bolt on her head as well. She gets stuck in that Nether Toxin. It's not going to be fun.
Viper mid. Confirmed.
I mean, you could play whatever you want mid, right?
Yeah, but I think Supreme will be playing Viper mid.
Wind Ranger as
And
your
yeah,
sword.
Wind Ranger.
Ranger.
I was
Okay.
thinking about this
Okay.
hero, but you really don't want to pick it against CK.
Yeah.
Because
Very single target focus.
very single target focus. I know you're not gonna die because of this wind run. It's good to evacuate from his blink strike. Yeah, but I'm just not convinced.
So it's going to be our boy Toronto Tokyo picking up the Wind Ranger here.
Yep.
And it will be Supreme playing the Viper as well, lads. So
Yeah, it's a good matchup for Toronto Tokyo, for sure.
Tokyo Drift here.
Tokyo
coming up
Drift,
with
yeah.
him. Yeah.
I don't know. I like both of these drafts, to be perfectly honest. Like, it seems pretty even across the board. Late game, I think late game, despite the fact that there's a Spectre, I'm
10
favoring
seconds
NIP.
remaining.
Yep. I think with that Viper, they're gonna do the same thing. Greaves
5
first item
seconds
on the
remaining.
Viper, and just like try to make this IO tether like target to like heal more.
Yeah. Hopefully we're not going to see an Elder Titan first out of Meteor Hammer. Yes, there's not quite as many stuns to be able to interrupt it, but that Ags is just way too powerful, and I think you need it when you know that they're all going to be running right at your face.
all right, lads, I need a name. NIP and
NIP.
NIP.
all right, both my panelists here are going to go with Ninjas in Pyjamas for game number 2 and making it a 2-0 here up against Yellow Submarine. You guys have to wait and find out for the actual result. We're going to leave it with Odie Pixel and Fogged.
Thank you very much. Yes, Fog, but would you sort of agree? Are you looking at this lineup from NIP and thinking that Yellow Submarine's got the work cut out here?
Yeah, definitely feels okay. Let's see. Am I muted?
No, I hear you.
I'm not muted. Okay, cool, great. I did something right for once. Yeah, I like what they've got going for them quite a bit here. They're counteracting that Spectre. I feel like they can still look to play very aggressive. They've got just a very nice lineup where I feel like I don't mind Yellow Submarine so much, but I'm a little worried about the passivity of the game. They had this Morphling last game where I feel like Yotaro never could even play Dota. I feel like it might be similar with the Spectre this game. He's playing into Viper and T. It does not look easy for him.
Sure, I mean, yeah, so sort of what point will he be able to sort of get involved? And if it does sort of end up going passive, they sort of get away with it if somehow they are able to make space for the Spectre and push it to the late game? Does that mean it's going to be easier for them in the later stages?
They do have crazy, they're the Spectre Phoenix. Like, Phoenix is one of those kings of the late game, but there's an Elder Titan on the other side. There's a Viper Break that's always going to be coming in. Like, this is going to be something you have to worry about at all stages of the game. Yeah, I do like what NIP's got for them quite a bit here. It gets to later stages too. I feel like they should come out with a pretty decent advantage. Let's say if we do get to these like mid-game, late-game kind of things, I feel like with NIP's draft, they should have an advantage going into those. Unless somehow lanes just get totally botched.
Sure.
Which Mio, he can do quite a big thing versus the Viper. I've seen this pick quite a lot versus this hero, and can go back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, Mio shouldn't die, and as long as he's able to get some nice power shots in, it's not going to be too easy for Supreme. Yeah, definitely the downside being that he's just not able to really punish the Wind Ranger with the poison attack harass if he's able to play from the distance.
30 seconds to battle.
Cool how they, they switch up, right? I feel like NIP maybe broke Yellow Submarine's confidence a little bit in picking that Mars. That's why they switched to go for Beastmaster and stuff. Maybe Collapse feel a little bit more comfortable on this one. And in response, NIP, they picked themselves a CK because it's a hero that, Roar hurts, but it doesn't hurt as much as some of these other heroes because you have illusions and you have a bunch of other things that are going to be working with you. And it's a hero that sustains really well in lane. The Beastmaster can be a hero that can apply some pressure. CK doesn't care.
The
Chaos
battle
Strike.
begins.
I mean, because that is going to be the thing. I mean, do you sort of consider Yellow Submarine having enough damage to deal with the CK army, sort of after Charlie has a few items?
No, I feel like they're really lacking that AoE in their, like the entirety of their draft, actually. It's just the Phoenix who can, for the most part, deal with that. The other heroes just, they don't even build into stuff that deals with it. I guess, like, Spec can, but yeah, it's really just Phoenix going to be the one to be able to clear out those illusions.
See if Yellow Submarine can do something magical in the laning stage. And let's see what Mio is able to do mid if he is able to come out confidently on top as Supreme. Power of that last pick, you know what they're signing themselves up for, so you expect Mio to have a good time here.
Uh-oh. You say that, but he just gets 2 creeps denied on him.
Oh.
On his high ground, too, so. He did have the favorable block in this one by a little bit.
Yeah, the Collapse is taking quite a bit of damage here. I mean, in this bottom lane, just sort of look at the CK and IO and feel that they are going to be very hard to take down because of this sort of constant heals and the eventual Chaos Strike, or are these offlaners Hopefully duo strong enough from Yellow Submarine to threaten kills here.
I think Charlie should just be able to sustain through it. Every time I feel like I stay in a lane where I'm like, oh, CK's can get pressured, I always take it back like 2 minutes later. I'm just like, oh, just kidding. You know, Chaos Strike, he gets a couple procs. And IO pretty tough to kill. They don't have any stun to really stop the tether, so he could always be able to tether himself away unless he just massively misplays. Actually looking to get aggro onto Sobad. He's got the Fire Spirits available.
See, just they're out. IP aren't going to try and push any further. And then that attack speed's slow, unlikely to be able to quite get those last few hits in.
He is getting slowed down a little bit. The lane isn't, it's not great for Charlie. The bore slow plus the fire attack speed slow is actually messing with his last hits quite a bit here. So he'll be able to sustain through it, but look at his attack speed when he's trying to hit. Not great.
And then up on the other side of the map, up this top lane, sort of preference to the lane set up here from side.
It bounces in a way because Elder Titan, the first 2 levels, I think are not the strongest. On level 3, you're explosive. So I feel like now is like when they get level 3 on NIP, they can post kill threat non-stop to this Spectre. I do like NIP's lane up top too. So I feel like they've got 2 lanes that are at least pretty damn good for NIP, but also a lane that's a little bit of a variable for Yellow Submarine because bottom, we're not too sure how that's going to go just yet. It does feel like the Beastmaster Phoenix is going to come a little bit ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this mid lane in particular, I do feel that we've seen Wind Rangers pick to the Viper in order to have a better time, and that's just not happening so far in the mid lane. You know, Supreme he's keeping the lead here, straight up in CS, 17 for 3 against the 11 for 2. This is, you know, this is just straight up outplay from Supreme. Just have seen Wind Rangers do better than this against Viper.
Yeah, absolutely. The first wave, he did make a couple mistakes on it. He's actually spamming his power shot quite a lot here, and he's not connecting with Supreme. A lot of times I did see these Wind Rangers, instead of just using it on creeps, they just power shot the Viper over and over and over again.
Yeah. Okay, has got the bottle out. We'll see what's going to come out in 30 seconds for the mid rune. See if sweeps over to try and stop that from going either way.
Mio has to get it. Otherwise, this lane looks really lost. Like, I mean, it's already super lost. He absolutely needs it. Kind of just needs a DD to reestablish this lane, it feels.
You almost had it.
See Supreme trying to push the wave in, so he has control for this. So bad's going to come over to help the rune secure. He's going to play his chances.
The push cut.
Shot one. Lane, they've got the damage. Stabilize air, run him down.
You're bound to die once or twice up there as a disruptor. He's actually making sure that he blocks the hard camp, so there isn't the, you know, the thing we always talk about. ET is where he just stacks the hard camp and abuses his spirit. So yeah, he'll die once for blocking that camp.
Yeah. Obviously, Mio was able to get the rune. Not really a magical rune for him though. It's just the invis, so not really going to do anything too much about the matchup mid. Have him sort of swing back ahead or anything against Supreme.
No, at least he's filled up though. He's got some, Supreme's gonna have to spend money on regen, so no, he's got that last hit advantage. Mio always had the regen to be able to counteract.
Lane, I mean,
there it is.
You said it would happen. The levels come in, and suddenly Saberlight, along with Era, they're just running down these kills. It's not a good sign if you're losing your Spectre like this.
And it doesn't, especially when there's also a Viper in the game, right? You know, mid-game, that Spectre's gonna have a really tough time. Bottom, able to push them away from going for the bounties. But Charlie wants to still try to keep us. Saberlight does have the heal. One fortunate thing for Yotaro up top is they're full reset back to full HP. DP is not.
So as well as the chainmail, so that got armor early on. That to run in pretty confidently. Get these hits in. Lane. Gets so bad as well, not quite, but I've seen the action kick off and then IP it's all going their way so far. These kills on these side lanes, but both lane setups just proving to be very, very solid here for NIP.
Yeah, and even though the first 5-6 waves or so for Charlie, we were saying he's getting slowed down a bit. Look at that last hits. You know, the Chaos Strike starts to kick in. He's able to keep himself sustained just fine. And then they have ways to actually counteract that attack speed slow that I was talking about before, is they have overcharge. So it actually goes right through the Fire Spirits and that Bore Slow. Mio mid.
Runes up. He's going to try and lead him, but Era's here to help him out. So bad TPing in. Dive forward will be able to take the DD rune away from Supreme. Supreme standing his ground, trying to bring down Mio with him, but won't be able to do so. The TP's allowing Yellow Submarine to get the 2 kills and keep Mio alive.
Nicely done. That level 6 is the big one, right? That's when you can actually set up for the kills on the Viper as the Wind Ranger. Nice double rotation. We'll leave Yotaro up top for Slight Moment versus Saberlight by himself, but
Radiant's middle tower
she's doing
is
just
under
fine
attack.
versus this ET. Back up to 29 last hits anyway.
I mean, Charlie, he's going to be going for the Midas. Still so far, Tractor hit a good time on it. And you said at this point, so bad in collapse, not really putting much pressure onto the CK at all. Top lane, number 10 onto Yotaro, Era. With the avalanche, again these punches from Saberlight doing so much. Yotoro's going to try and stand his ground against Saberlight. The toss is there, Horn comes out. Yotaro will manage to live. Kill. Won't go down to the punches of Saberlight. Not quite enough power in the other time to take.
Love that Yotaro actually goes for chainmail. If he didn't have chainmail there, he dies. This plus armor counteracting the ET 2 points in aura is actually pretty huge. So it looks like he's so much tankier because of it.
That
with the dispersion
for sure.
Yeah, dispersion plus the chainmail, like it just makes it look like he didn't have as much damage as he actually did. Supreme. As soon as Focus Fire is committed, he has to drop the Nether Toxin on the ground as bottom.
Looking for collapse. Best to jump around the trees here. Misha taking a bit of fire from Sobad. Misha's had to tether over, cross towards the creep. Sobad's going to chase. Dives forward with the spirits. Misha's down. And now Charlie's alone. Sobad trying to set up the body blocks as Charlie will manage to rift over to the side, duke it out, allow himself to pass. He'll live. They really wanted to go in onto collapse there, but a little too tricky to find hidden in the trees, and it took too much time. Misha just fully focused down by the Phoenix.
Denial.
Yeah, a little bit too much damage to commit. Era steals away an Invis rune from Mio. Now he's set up on the mid lane, almost has mana for both. He's got the mana for the combo now.
God, that was Mio into the tower.
Yeah, back away. Already a book 1 finished for collapse. Well, that's still very good timing down here, even though he did die the once. Not falling down the CK, but he's still farming very well himself.
Top lane. They're going in onto Saberlight, but Saberlight's got the backup of Era. Watch the ball fall.
Dire's top tower
Not
is
bad
under
for
attack.
Saberlight. The blade mail's done on you.
Blade mail? That's very early. Wow, that's
probably the earliest we've seen on a Spectre, but it's going to stop them from going on him.
I love it actually. Versus the ET, like now Saberlight, it's a question of you probably don't want to trade hits ever.
No, I mean that's the if you're the CT right now looking at the Spectre, I mean what are you thinking? You're sort of like, well, I can't really do much about him anymore.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
You just need to do it. You need to just pretty much only use your commit when you have the Tiny around you. You can't actually use it too much for harassment anymore.
No. All right, bit of a spill.
I mean, it's like a very, the Blade versus the Viper. It's something that we know it's kind of coming, but it's the fact that we just went naked. That's what makes it so.
Yeah, no, oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, he would have got it anyway. This speed means that it's not only going to give him that benefit later on, it's just giving him this benefit straight away in the remainder of this laning stage.
It just owns Saber. Like Saberlight hits him, he hits him for 100 damage, and Saberlight takes back 230 because of Dispersion plus Blade Mail. Very cool. So that'll help him at least just be able to farm up top here quite a bit here. Also finds himself a 4-man shield, one of the better items respected early on.
Radiant's bottom tower.
And they're going to play around their stronger
attack.
heroes. They're going to play around that Beastmaster, play around that Wind Ranger.
No, I mean it all adds up. The Pull Man Shield, the Royal Jelly, the Ring of Regen. This is that with the Blade Mail. This is a hero that's very hard to go on. Maybe if Era and Saberlight do see an opportunity to burst in, they can try still against that Blade Mail. But I don't think these two heroes will have enough in them. I think they need a third if they really want to try.
They're bringing a third though. Here comes the Viper.
3 heroes might do it. These are going to come in. It's hard to kill this Spectre. They're really throwing everything into this attempt. The break is down. Another toss, but he's out with the Horn.
He's under attack.
Popped, and he looks to jump himself away.
He's gonna live though, Charlie. Oh, gets him with the last attack.
Alright, I mean, at the end of the day, that works out probably better than planned for NIP. I mean, instead of sort of the
Radiant's
Spectre going
bottom
down on the
tower
top
is
line
under
and
attack.
having the XP split between the few of
Dire's
them,
top tower
he's over
is
towards
under
mid, and
attack.
Charlie gets it solo.
And Haunt's on cooldown, so you don't have to worry about any type of potential haunt play. That's, I mean, quite a big mistake. He tries to go for the big play to survive. Ends up being kind of those double mistakes that we
Dire's
talk about.
structures are fortified.
His game's gonna be
Dire's
tough.
top
You know,
tower
it's
is under
gonna be
attack.
really hard. Already into so many different counters himself. They're applying pressure bottom, Charlie. The push because they're ready with the
Dire's
glimpse.
top tower
Got the roll they have. They get in range for it. Might not even need it. Yeah, Shackle's there instead for the setup.
Nice.
Yes. The kill with the roll still up. They could try and look for more round mid.
Book just popped it. They've got a full duration on it. Collapse very strong right now.
Yeah,
They
find
can
the
get
ball
the
though.
good connection.
Saberlight
Yeah.
has come over, so
Dire's
that
top
there will
tower
be
is under attack.
potential to turn this around if from NIP is and up there. Landing onto Collapse, but no further commitment. They're trying to see if we can get him for a toss back. Actually, look at just toss in Saberlight. So to get Saberlight in with an initiation piece, but no stop and no Astral Twin. Now the stop's back up, but the shackle shot's there. The Supernova's out as well as the Roar. Supreme's caught underneath the gate. They're going to lose both Saberlight and Supreme. As that toss forward now. I don't know who made the call on that, Era or Saberlight, but they wanted to go in. That was a huge risk to take, and it hurts them.
Hurts them a lot. I mean, they're still sitting around mid. There's a Hawk right on top of Era. Being placed. They also have the ward behind the tower. Yeah, that was a very ambitious toss in into a Phoenix lineup is the thing.
Yeah.
Like you're tossing into high ground where a Phoenix is, and he still has egg available. That was very over ambitious and gets punished. While it gives Yotaro so much time now to farm over some ancients.
And at the moment he was getting
Dire's
tossed in,
top
he still had a
tower
few
is under
seconds
attack.
on both his cooldowns. You know,
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was going to be able to get in and straight away spirit and a stomp out. No, they were just really desperate to chase and went too hard in on it. Top, drag back on a mid-posture with the rip. Submarine here as well as the stick charges will stop the posture from going down. He's going to live. Now Charlie's taking a lot of damage with this Submarine and the ball's beating into them, and then NIP has to take a step back. Glimpses there as they drag Saberlight back over. Spirit out, he's revving up the stomp, actually taken out by the relocate. A little too worried about Saberlight getting caught out and taken down.
They're ready to fight this. I mean, Misha, I don't think he's gonna be able to get this tether out. He's gonna try. Okay, he actually will for now. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, no angle to sort of put a stop to it.
Collapse had roar. He just walked and started pushing the lane rather than going for the kill. Maybe he wanted to save it for a bigger target, but
Sure, maybe it's like, who cares? He wants to go for the bigger things.
yeah, it seems like it. As they're looking to play very aggressive. I like this. Look at their stance here. They have egg available. They're looking to just keep trying to put NIP off guard and just let Yotaro play on his side and farm. It's working right now.
Brings back onto Supreme. Raw, shackle shot down. The tether's out. Is it enough heals to keep this fight for a long time? He's still up and down. The Hawk's in though. They're on top of the Viper. Supreme goes down. Yotaro jumps over the water area as well. Thunder Strike down onto the Tiny. They're diving past this tier 1 for him. Zera. Is there going to be any sort of help for him? Charlie watching from the side, but Charlie, he's not going to step over. The toss out will find time for error. In fact, it's enough for him to live. He's actually going to be able to survive this. The whole 5-man of Yellow Submarine unable to finish him off there. I thought they'd have him for sure, but they didn't.
Still pretty tanky at this Tiny. He gets to grow he gets to grow early on. Usually you see like 4-4 builds on a lot of these Tinies, especially when they're 4 position. But yeah, plus 10 armor, plus 2 also for Mark catering. Not that squishy. Big moves though, because it's Yellow Submarine all this time. They're the ones dictating the pace, which I feel is always the best you do when you have a disruptor lineup. They're actually putting NIP a bit on the back, but when I felt like I thought it was going to be NIP being the aggressors with this Viper looking to make moves, but the lanes are just too pushed in. Bottom is just always shoved in, mid's always shoved in too. It's tough for NIP to make moves on their own accord right now, it feels.
It definitely feels like a little bit of a timer. As much as this CK is going to scale, if this Spectre does get away with a good Radiant timing, taunts are going to be pretty deadly. I mean, I guess it just sort of depends how much you rate the different ways that NIP have to counter Spectre at all points of the game, whether you're too scared of how quickly the Spectre gets these items on.
if he's able to get away with Radiance, I'm very concerned for NIP. I feel like right now they're playing too slow. They're just getting ran at. They're not the ones able to make any moves to the bottom. Getting blown up. They're gonna get zag out.
And they're gonna get the catch on a collapse as well. Avalanche in onto the Beachmaster in the trees.
Very nice. They were ready to stun.
I mean, they have to be there like that. There's no way they can let their Viper just die to that sort of move that close to a tower.
I can't believe he actually just did that. Wait, I literally was going to say, and
what?
He killed the boat.
No, he
chose to kill it. He turned and hit it
No!
himself.
Oh, we got to have a replay of that one.
Mio,
Mio.
Kill him.
Combo again in a few seconds, Era.
Got another win run, though. Gets the distance.
Could he TP it? This TP's not going to work. He's in range with the Avalanche. They've got him.
Charlie.
Mio's got him. Kill over towards the CK.
530.
Money for Chaos Knight. Well, there we go. Some bit of action there for NIP. Mine had a bit of a slip up from Saberlight.
Did you get to see it again?
Oh yeah, I don't think we've had it on yet. I mean, action can, but
Supreme.
He just punched it. Was it an auto attack that had gone wrong, or?
No, he chose it. Supreme literally like ran away from the book, choosing not to kill because he would die. And Saberlight's like, no, I got this. I just punches it and dies.
I mean, I guess he got the money, but then proceeded to lose it on his death and give up more money than he gained himself.
It happens.
Players back, but they're going to fight with it. Giant Monkey, oh, he's straight on the Phoenix, but the dive's out in time. So bad's able to make it away. Goes down. The back, roar out onto Supreme, but Saberlight's able to get the area safe with the ult laid down. Stop the other Submarine from committing any further.
Okay, even the reload. Gonna leave themselves in position to try to go for a tether. Maybe they look to fight on the high ground here if they can, but the book
they're going to have to
scouting.
stop. They try and go on Amisha. Shackle shot, not going to allow Misha's off to the side. Glimpse
back to base.
Just going to take Misha out of this fight. Just means Supreme potentially a little vulnerable, but the TP's up, so Misha's going to return straight back to mid. Stop the Yellow Submarine from being able to pressure for more.
Oh, Yutaro actually switched the build. He's gone for the Yasha instead.
Okay.
Looking to maybe just get more involved around his team.
I mean, do you like that, or in this sort of game where it's a hard game for Spectre, you would have liked to see him try and go for the greed for the Radiance?
I felt like he was getting away with it. He was just
he was
sitting
building
in the
up
jungle.
money.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it plays out. I feel like this might bite him a bit.
Okay.
We'll see. It's still a very hard game for him. As we do see, okay, Meteor Hammer is finished up for Saberlight. Smoke for Yellow Submarine.
Washka, who's going to get a catch on Supreme. So that ward. Actually, Shackle should. Misha's over with the tether, but this overwhelming amount of damage does take Supreme down. Dora haunting around, not able to get a jump onto anyone else though. He's out of it, or maybe Error. I'm over this wrap around from the back. They're going to try and frame, stomp off the mark. Saberlight not able to catch anyone, and Error, he'll fall.
Might get another glimpse catch with Poshka. He's waiting for Hawk Vision. Not quite able to find one in time. But it's Yellow Submarines being the aggressors pretty much in the entirety of this game. I don't feel like this is a good sign for NIP. Their Viper is now died 4 times. And this is the Viper that has to kind of counteract that Viper. I feel like he's not doing so at all in this game so far. It's just been him dying to focus fires over and over again. I feel like that's going to continue to happen too.
Now, yeah, that is the counter to the counter. They just get this Viper out of the fight before he can throw out any spells.
Yep.
Spectre. And it's been working so far.
Saberlight bottom. He's probably gonna go down if they can connect the Shackle. Oh, nice Shackle too.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Good picks this game. I mean, 3-1 and 9. Actually, sorry, 6-1 and 4 for him. So bad actually. It's been 3-1 and 9. We're seeing some plays come out in a game as well where he didn't necessarily have an easy lane against Supreme. Supreme played it very well against him. It was sort of coming out behind in the lane matchup. These rotations and these times, he's a deadly force. He's in with the focus fire and he pretty much takes down any of these heroes. DK probably the exception, but the rest of them, they're very vulnerable to this Wind Ranger's commitment.
No, they absolutely are, and it's over again. Look, it's pushed. Bottom's always forced in. So again, Yellow Submarine, they have all their ults available. Again, ready for a fight.
Watch this for the glimpse on the Misha. Mio looking for a way to get in. He's going to be able to get the Jackal on Charlie. He's got a DD. He's ready to go. Underneath the Supernova, Charlie's in trouble. He's trying to run, but he'll get burnt down by the egg. Perfect sweep around again from Mio, finding these easy shackles. And just an abundance of damage coming out from these focus fires as this Mio just continues to rule the game.
It doesn't feel like there's a Viper versus Spectre at all. He hasn't actually seen the Spectre except for that one situation top. Yellow Submarine just playing as foreign, dominating NIP because they have no one guy to take these fights. Era, who finally has the Blink Dagger, but damn, feels like a lot of damage has just been done. Him and Saberlight just unable to really do too much as the 3-4 in comparison. The 3-4 on the side of Yellow Submarine feels like they're just applying so much more pressure. And I feel like when you play this, you know, Viper versus Spectre, you want to be the ones applying the pressure, not the reversal. So yeah, Yellow Submarine are going to start getting some big items to deal with those, you know, deal with the CK if he's ever getting big. I think they've already dealt with the Viper and the ET. Feeling concerned for NIP.
A lot of weight on Charlie to carry big time. I mean, Charlie has done it before, and his palm still looks good. The more and more time this Spectre gets, I mean, I sort of feel like Yatoro, after the way his teammates have been able to take these fights on and get these kills on his own, he's probably asking himself, he's like, dude, I could have got away with the Radiance. Yeah. He's had that much space on his side of the map that he could have. He didn't. I mean, he's still going to get these other items very quickly. Manta and now looking towards that Skadi next.
They're looking pretty damn comfortable in this game anyway. I'd say
he's getting space.
Yeah, I would say that they're very favorable to win right now. NIP's. It's literally just been on. Like, look where the fights are. Look what's gonna happen again. I feel like NIP's just been trapped in this spot for the last 15 minutes after late since late phase.
Jumping there up. The toss back. Ball's gonna be laid down on Taylor. Charlie trying to quick hit, but the Talic storms down. It's trapped Charlie. Supernova out on the high ground. Supreme's trying to take it out, but they can't hit the end. They've got to run. They've already lost 3. Supreme's gonna get run down. Shackles out. Glimpse back again, but Koshka making sure there's no escape for Supreme. And this is just incredibly messy now at this point. Yellow Submarine need to wait. They're just running over NIP. They don't have anybody in a good position to play. So Supreme just keeps dying. He's 1, 5, and 2. The offlane ET 2, 4, and 3 is just very underwhelming performances from these cores. And they're just not doing enough to allow Charlie to have a good game on the CK, despite how much fun the Charlie's managed to get.
This is well and truly over. It's irrecoverable. This Spectre is massive, and his team around him is just way too strong. They haven't even really had to, like you said, the Guitaros have just been able to farm for the majority of it. It's just been the 4. Yeah. Just crushing NIP.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And literally the 4. You know, look at this so bad position for Phoenix. He's got more farm than the top lane ET that Tablelight's running, and it's gonna hurt. You know, the levels are great. Level 15. He's pretty much got a Shiva's Garb. We're seeing it already.
Massive.
These Supernovas are just, they're untouchable. We're not seeing NIP find any chance really to tackle the eggs. So I don't know how they're gonna deal with this Phoenix in the team fights.
Dire's middle tower
I don't either. I also don't know how they're even going to deal with Spectre anymore, because the break mechanic, you know, it might be there, but I think he's just too big now for it to matter.
The Viper just dies too quickly.
Viper's dead before it anyway, yeah.
Yeah, he sort of just has to throw out another toxins. He's not getting this opportunity to sort of wait until his team is able to stun, hold this Spectre in position, and then get the break on top of him. Yellow Submarine, they're just the team that chooses where the fight happens and when the Spectre comes in.
Yeah, just again forcing all the lanes in, as we've seen literally the whole game. Mid lane was pushed in by Power Shot, Collapso is forcing in one way with the Boar, and bottom was already pushed in from so bad. So they smoke. They're gonna look for the number advantage, and they already have deep wards. They have a ward placed behind this tower top. So I feel like Supreme, he steps up, very likely to die. And he's stepping up.
No, he's
lacking that.
Shackles in, and Supreme is out once again. They will put the roar for him.
Radiant's top tower
totally necessary, but sending a message. Charlie, trying going on to Mio. Jackal shot does knock down Charlie for now. You know, popping the BKB to back away from this. Yatoro's trying to lead on to Charlie.
They've got more glimpses.
Saberlight not going to quite get trapped in kinetic here. speed to step out in
Radiant's
time.
top tower
The space
is
is there.
under
You know,
attack.
Yellow Submarine just pushing NIP back into their base.
Radiant's
They're able
top
to take
tower
down the
is
tier 2
falling.
tower. And just this lead continues to grow. The map control as well. Just continues to really eliminate spaces that Charlie feels safe in. Finding farmers the CK right.
I mean, he can't hit any creeps because they're all still in this
Radiant's
area.
middle tower
And
is
Spectre, they
under
send him
attack.
down. They send Yataro down bottom to push it out. They can keep themselves on +4 in this area. Maybe I think they can look to hit this tier 2 mid. They're gonna port bottom with the Spectre. With the Viper, they have to get this kill. Can they do it?
Can they change down in with the stun? The break is down. Do they have the damage? They do.
Has been killed.
Get the kill, as you said. There was
Radiant
no.
structures are fortified.
They could not let that slip away
Radiant's
from them.
top
They
tower
have to
is
get
under
it. They
attack.
do. Takes the 4 of them, but Yashitora gone for a minute. This does open up the game for NIP to try and find something else. And with this immediate smoke over towards the rest of the team, they're looking for it.
They might buy back and haunt to fight if NFP commits
That
too
is-
hard.
that
I
is
think it's the
very-
right play for NFP.
Let's see what they can force. In onto Maposhka. Maposhka turns straight away. Jumper shot the static stomp hard down. Stomp out onto Maposhka, but the rolls there from collapsing. Charlie, he just dies in the front of the fight. Only commits. He cannot achieve anything here. The Supernova's going to be successful very easily there by Sobad. As it doesn't matter that they don't have a Spectre. The rest of the 4 of them have no trouble killing literally everyone. Error, dragged back by the glimpse from Maposhka. Another catch from this Disruptor. And they're just all dead. I mean, you talked about the threat of the buyback hold. They didn't even need it. They didn't even need the Spectre to come back in to just take on the 5 members of NIP trying to sneak up on them.
Oh, look at that damage. Phoenix gets off every single spell beautifully. Already has a
Radiant's
Shiva's at the
middle
early
tower
mark
is
of the
under
game.
attack.
It is
Dominating.
24 of the 26 kills. So bad's been involved in it. Yeah, we do at the sort of top level see these games where these Phoenix players, you know, they just have these incredible showings, and this is one of them. It's just couldn't be done any better by So Bad's Phoenix.
Collapse also does look much more comfortable on the Beastmaster kills. It fits the way that they want to play and apply pressure to rather than having to rely on this ulti, because Beastmaster can be played a lot without Roar.
Very tough for NIP right now. Charlie, step up.
Rocking at him. He has ages.
He's going to put Charlie to BKB. Dragging back, but now the Hawk's out. Ready to go. Torres jumping in on the front lines. Avalanche slowing down, but the Roar's onto Supreme. And lose Misha in the tree. Supreme's going to get nuked down by the power shot of Mio. I mean, you can sort of feel it with the way the NIP was just running at them there. The NIP may be on the verge of sort of calling this one as 28-9, 19k lead. Any time that you're down this far, this early against the Spectre, it's going to be feeling pretty doom and gloom.
Radiant's middle
You
tower
got no
is
chance
under
in this
attack.
one. They just can't. I feel that they just can't kill anybody. It's not even just a team. They just can't kill anybody unless it's literally a 5v1.
I mean, yeah, this is just brutal stuff. I mean, especially if you
Radiant's
consider
middle
how...
tower has
You
fallen.
will imagine that NIP probably felt they had quite a confident answer against the Spectre, right? They do choose all
Radiant's
these
middle
heroes
tower
that
is under attack.
do have good ways of punishing the Spectre's game, but they were just never able to do that.
There's
Good job.
fight here.
Yeah, 7 on the BKB. And just focusing down onto Charlie with the focus fire. Static somehow as well. Charlie pokes the BKB. Find Maposhka. To find the Disruptor. Can they get collapse as well? No. Oh, yes, they can. Stuns in time. Okay. A punch back from NIP to Saberlight buyback, but it pays off anytime they can try and win a fight whilst they're this far behind. Money well spent from NIP.
Need to try to get anything to get this CK online. It still feels, you know, they need. I think they need like 10 of those. I feel like they have a good shot back in this one because they're still just so far out of it. They did pop so bad though. The important thing, this Phoenix, he popped back instantly. They can kill him again. There's gonna be a long downtime where they maybe can take advantage of that. They're gonna need anything they can get in this game to recover. Silveridge also finished on Charlie, so another break.
I mean, we're sort of the way that Supreme have been dying in the fights. They need as much break as they can get because the Nether Toxin is just not reliable enough right now.
Dire's bottom tower.
I mean, the
is under
second
attack.
option is going to be pretty essential against Yatoro's Spectre.
Radiant's middle
Walking in,
tower
trying to force it.
That was out. Yatoro's in with the Hawk, they're straight in onto Charlie. They're trying to save Charlie, get him out to the side, but it's just too much damage. Charlie goes down. They cannot take this egg out. And the egg will pop successfully. A triple kill for Yatoro.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Again, just going back to seemingly as hard a game as it was just moments ago. Still is for NIP. Yatoro picking up Misha as well. Drag himself back. 20k, 33 to 12. The stomping continues by Yellow Sun.
Yes, it does. Yeah, just some
Radiant's
very
middle
nice
tower
aggressive
is
plays
under
coming out from them. And like you said, this so bad Phoenix has dominated it time and time again inside the fights. And I didn't really point this out. I didn't really want to nitpick so much of items, but I didn't even get a drum on their team on the side of NIP. Like the ET went for the Axe or the Meteor Hammer again, which I felt was kind of useless this game.
It hasn't really done much.
Like drum to hit egg, drum to be able to move in and out of fights. I feel like it would have been a lot more impactful. I know a lot of these players, they're touching on this Meteor Hammer. In some games, I feel like it can have its merits. In a game like this one, I didn't see it even from earlier when he was getting committed on. It didn't feel like it was ever there.
Charlie, deep in, pops the ult, tries to move in straight away onto Collapse. Somewhere heal for Sobak, keeping Collapse alive. Eric comes with a jump combo onto the Phoenix, but the Phoenix is able to dive out. Sobak will live now, he's away. Yatoro moves it onto Misha. As the IO falls, Pyjamas straight away from Misha. The setup with the shackle will get onto both Supreme and Arrow, holding them back. Yatoro is able to step out of the splitter, make it away. Chase continues from NIP. Get themselves on top of. They're looking for Mapochka. Charlie sneaking in with Silveridge. Mapochka, he will be left ashore. Gets a static storm down, but doesn't matter. NIP, they find themselves to disrupt the support still, though. The rest of Yellow Submarine have fully evacuated the area. Nobody else to fall.
They got what they came for anyway. The melee Rex is taken out. They have all the momentum swinging in.
Invisibility.
They are on mode chill. Ready to fight if they come in.
Get the jump on the Phoenix.
That's the big 100-second.
He's gone for a long, long time.
Maybe too much mode chill. Get picked off here.
Right, I mean, NRP's got to make this 100 seconds count like no tomorrow. I mean, if you're NRP right now, what are you having to achieve during this Phoenix downtime?
Check rush. Take mid tower and scout rush. I think if you can get a rush on, you can actually be lucky around this one, and it's about 40 seconds. They can get it.
Yeah, gonna have still a solid 35 to take it down without worrying about the Phoenix. And that should be long enough for their lineup to kill it.
They've got to get something big out of this downtime.
Or if they can find another catch.
Yeah, if they can get a big kill on the Wind Ranger or the Spectre's probably impossible. But if they can get a kill on one of these cores, maybe.
See the Hawk, so they know that Collapse was over here when he just sent this over. Now find Collapse.
Gets him with the initial.
Can get him. Charlie wasn't chasing over straight away though, but they're going to have time to hold him in place. The stomp's down. The Meteor Hammer is going to pay off this time. The Sableye is able to lock him down a little longer. Charlie comes in. They've killed off Collapse. Still 30 seconds, no Phoenix. So now that not only did they kill the Phoenix, they got kills. They'll see that. Well, okay, we'll see if they check it out themselves. It doesn't look like they are going to NRP.
Nah, it's still too risky now. They'd have to full commit for it in that area. It's just a little bit too. And I don't think they kill it that fast either.
Yeah, I guess at this stage with the tankiness that Roshan's going to have. Charlie's going to try and find another catch.
The sentries, though, the Pochka is prepared. He bought 8 sentries before this. He's placed down all over the area, knowing that they need to just secure their jungle for this moment here.
But, you know, something, in a game where it has just been sort of all downhill for NIP, they're able to make a little magic happen. They're still going to need a lot more of that. Still down 21k and only holding to that final range racks on the bottom lane. They do hold on. The game will continue.
They're going to have some very, very hopeful team fight around this Roche, because Yellow Submarine, they're going to commit straight for this one. So let's see, I mean, how NIP can try to commit and try to fight around this is... This Phoenix, I don't think you can fight into this Phoenix. Like, so bad, level 20.
Yeah, somehow they've got to jump in, but with this Eon Disc and such, it's just not going to happen. Eon Disc practically goes Sheep's Guard. Just look how tanky this Phoenix is.
just really is not possible. They're camping up here on the high ground. We hope that they can pop somebody as they walk up. They see the fire spirits casted. They're pinging mid. They know that they're smoked around the area now.
I suppose this is going to take somewhat sort of a heroic jump from Error or a perfect time stomp from Saberlight. You know that the Yellow Submarine's not going to commit. You don't want to get caught out by either of those plays. They're waiting it out and sort of seeing what NIP do.
They're going to push out bottom in the meantime with the relocate. During this time, they're going to commit into the pit though. This is 6 seconds until that relocate comes in. It's dying. It's going to be dead before the reload's back.
Yeah, they're going to be back in time. Oh, they're stepping out to avoid the stomp. It's going to try for it, but already the Aegis is picked up. They got the kill, they got the Aegis, and the Aegis down. A jump just a little too slow there from NIP means they won't get a chance to stop this. They've lost 2. Saberlight almost going to go down as well as the hammer holds them back momentarily, but he gets finished off by the Necro Book. As they tried to make the jump. It was always going to be a hard one, and it doesn't happen in time.
Charlie, he walks into the book 3. He's just going to be there with the heals. They're going to turn, actually kill Collapse. Dora chasing him down, will still bring him out of the action, and Misha, the last one left standing. They'll call it. GG is there.
Radiant's
Yellow Submarine with a very dominant performance here in this game too. And just for NIP, a couple of lanes, a couple of cores really, they just didn't have a great time, specifically that mid lane. 1-10 and 5 at the end of it all on Supreme. The Viper pick and the Viper play just not working out at all for